Welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 203, and we're finally out of the holidays. We are in... Is it really bright over there, Larry? You can see it pretty good right now.
Kind of brown, yeah.
You got a new little Christmas present, so you can...
I got one of those O-rings.
Oh, O-rings.
Yeah.
Lucky.
That's how I got it.
Yeah, you look pretty clear, dude. It's nice and crisp. Like I'm digging this.
It's kind of bright.
Yeah,
I'm gonna admit, it's kind of bright. I don't envy like famous people on YouTube because I think they all use these.
The same thing. Yeah, you can see
O-rings.
I can see it in your glasses. It's kind of cool. Nice. Yeah. I think that'd be horrible if you had a headache, though. Is it just?
It
really...
probably will.
So yeah, this is the first episode in the new year and of 2022. What are we going to start off with for our first episode of the year, Larry? What are we doing today?
We are going to talk about how to identify and kind of upgrade the precons that Wizards puts out for Commander. And it's more of a general sense. We're not going to go through and pick cards and be like, I would put this card in and just like totally break it down. We want to help you identify cards just to make the decks. It doesn't have to be 100 times better or a total revamp, but like just trying to make things a bit better, a bit smoother.
Like we've said over the years, actually, each year it seems like Wizards puts out the Commander decks and they get better and better and better. More competitive decks. And so early on, this would have been a lot different. I think you talk about the first couple years of Commander, it'd be like, change the whole thing. Like, that's our tip.
You have 4 major things going on here. Cut 3 of them.
Right. Now they've kind of fine-tuned it a little bit. They aren't putting in, as we have an example deck we will be talking about.
Yeah.
But they don't put as many tap lands in as kind of a big thing that they used to do. Just not enough.
And I think
mono rocks in general. They still are kind of in that, but
there is a difference, I think, between these set precons, which is we're going to be talking about the Spirit Squadron from Crimson Vow.
Prince and Vow.
But and then when they had the main set ones like last year's Strixhaven, I think those are still similar to what we're maybe used to. Because I'm not buying the set Commander stuff because it is probably too specific and very, a lot of them I've noticed being tribal.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not.
They're fine tuned into that tribe, whereas we'll get into this too as we get into the segment.
Yep.
But the yearly Commander decks generally have 3 commanders that you can intertwine, put in and out, and they would work well. And so they kind of generalize the deck. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of help you identify what things you should probably look at with those precons if you just want to play with those as a normal deck, and what things you can take out and put in to make them go maybe from we're not going to go to deck power level, but going from
just something that you'd be happier with.
Right. More consistent and a better overall deck. So that is pretty much the topic for today. We are still doing Stump the Smith Savant. We do have a new card that we're going to be giving away, which will be, is it Umbrus is what we decided to do?
We're going to give away Umbrus.
Yeah. So that is going to be the new
Fear Manifest. Yeah. I'm going to be working on that Thursday. Look at this fucking segue.
Look at that.
So I'm going to try and stream deck building. It's going to be...
wait. This is happening Thursday?
I think it's happening Thursday.
To me. Oh.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Nice.
I might not know what I'm doing. It might just be a total fuck up.
I should have had applause because that's totally...
So that's the hope. If it's kind of a fuck up and it's not going to be if it's taking longer for like actually running, I might just switch over to like switcheroo on my decks and stuff like that, just to like make it more compact so I don't go until like 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to aim to start at 9 p.m. Thursday, which is, I don't know. What's today? The 3rd? 4, 5, 6, the 6th.
No, I didn't know you were actually just Thursday. Thursday works.
Yeah.
No,
Thursday.
that's awesome.
I'm going to try and aim for Thursdays, and every Thursday about 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to try and make that be a normal thing.
You East Coasters are probably going to be sleeping.
Yeah. If
but
there
you can
are
check
people,
it out.
If you want to really push and be like, hey, I would actually watch you, I can bump it up to 8:30.
There we go.
Central.
As you get more and more people that join, maybe you're bumping up to 8:30. But yeah, we got kids to put down and all that stuff. So time depends on all that stuff. Well, that's awesome. That's a really cool announcement to start 2022. Another cool announcement for 2022. We broke the record last month.
Choo-choo.
Thank you, Dana. No, I'm just kidding. That's a very big bump for that. So we actually broke the record, and we're going to do 2 giveaways like we did the last time we broke the record. Both of them are wedding rings. One is going to be a Twitter exclusive wedding ring, the regular one. And then for the patrons, for our Discord members, our patrons, there is going to be the extended version of Wedding Ring along with the full quip.
With a full quip included.
Full quip. So number 2, if you can win this, then you can add your quip head to this this awesome quip I'm showing right here. So we'll be putting those out. What you'll have to do again from before, I know it's been a while since we broke the record. A lot of that has been we determined our stuff on podcast numbers, and we aren't including YouTube. Now we're going to start including it now that we broke the record because it's shifted. We do have a big chunk of people that are watching on YouTube now instead of downloading. So what was I saying there? I was going to say blah, 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 blah.
Should we? Okay, so
I lost my train of thought.
The reason why there's a quip involved here
forgot, what the hell
you keep going, you think, and I'll just explain the quip. Okay, so back when they were giving out foil sheets, everybody's getting their foil sheets. Adam has his foil sheet, and then we're in a wedding. We're in our cousin's wedding, and we're getting ready. And my wife sends me a picture, and she goes, "Is this what you're trying to get from your magic people?" And it's a bag that says "Quip" all over it, and it says "Wizards delivered it." And I went, I don't understand what this is. And they sent myself, and it sounds like a handful of people, the top half of a quip, just a toothbrush. It's a fucking toothbrush.
Why did they have this at their disposal? That is my question. First off, why was this in their warehouse? Hey, here's our magic cards. Here's our, we're going to give this to people and this. And also these quips.
How did that even become a thing? How was that mistake? So clearly I didn't want it. I don't brush my teeth. And and so we gave it away, and number 2 ended up winning it randomly, and so I'm sure he's going to be gunning for this one. Just so I know what I was. I know what I was saying. I knew I could ramble enough so you could.
So, like I said from before, when we did the last giveaway, is what you'll have to do is go on Twitter. Mm-hmm. You'll have to retweet. You have to retweet. I think that's it, right? Follow. No, it's follow.
We don't
and retweet.
We don't even make you say something. Say something nice about us if you want, but it's not required.
That's all you got to do to win one of these. Now, if you're part of the Discord, you guys are automatically. Was it
patrons? Not just Discord.
Sorry, not Discord. Sorry, patrons. Was it over $5 are automatically entered in? Was that what it was? Yeah. So anybody that's $5 is automatically entered in, and then we just do a drawing there. So if you don't have Twitter, don't worry, you still can win by just being a patron. That's $5 or more, and you can win potentially. Sneaky. So we also, if you
don't want to join Twitter, become a patron. That's
right. There you go. That's just give us money, and you don't have to join Twitter. See, we saved you. There you go. You don't have to get in the
sure.
Twitter
We're fucking
cesspool.
Jesus, magic Jesus, right here.
So the other thing we're giving away is these little guys right here. As you can see, are doing some tests here. See, it says Gaia's Cradle. I've signed it. I got to get Lowry's signature down here.
Yes.
But these are also being given away with every prize that we do from this point forward. We got a whole bunch of those bad boys. I don't know. Do you like the idea of the title of Keldon Warlord gone with Gaia's Cradle, or like how I sent the one. Did you get the one yet that I sent?
Yes, yeah, I did get it. I don't know what hurts worse, so it just depends on what part of. Everybody complains that their childhood is dead, and you bring it up constantly for me.
There was a time there we didn't do it, but now it's we're bringing it back. We're bringing back the oldies but goodies. So, okay, so
it's basically the only stuff we can remember. So,
right,
we've been doing this for almost 4 years.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We've been doing it for almost 4 years.
Yeah,
we're coming up on what? We need to get 108, right?
I don't know how math works. Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 108 would be our 4-year mark, right? 52 weeks in a year. Or that's what I meant. Did I say 108? Yeah, I meant 208. Take 100 off of there. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah, so 208. Okay, so I have
what episode number is it? 203? We're 203 right now.
Oh, we're only 5 away for 4 years. Hell yeah. We just had 200 and I'm going to have 208. Okay.
Yeah, nobody cares
funny.
about
I got to tell you a funny story really quick. So Cindy's birthday was on New Year's, as you know.
Happy birthday, Cindy.
This past week, I already got her a birthday present, but I was trying to get the boys to help buy a birthday present. So we went to Target and it wasn't the greatest experience.
Well,
it was fine. They
going
picked out toys for
themselves.
Sucks. Yeah, no, it does. They took it half an hour to pick out toys because they make money off of chores. We give them chore sticks, and whenever they get things done, they get money for it. But anyways, so we go to the candle aisle because it's also my stepmom's birthday. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Happy birthday, Terry.
Yep. And so we're looking at I was looking at Sensi's, the little smelling things. Like we've been
Sensei's Divining Top?
Sensi's.
Oh.
They're like
I don't know what those are.
They're like a liquid, and they like fog machine almost, think of. So it's the new thing, but it's not really that new. But we've been kind of transitioning over to those because they really smell good over doing candles with kids because they're just.
But your house doesn't stink. I don't understand why you're. I don't.
It's because we have those. That's why you don't know that it doesn't stink.
True.
But with candles and little boys, you know what they like to do? They just like to blow them out. So it's like, well, the fucking candles don't work. Or they like to go, hey, what would happen if I put this in there and catch everything on fire?
Yeah.
So we're kind of transitioning away from candles at this moment. But anyways, long story longer, I'm sitting there trying to decide what to get. I'm taking pictures of it, sending it to Cindy. I'm like, what do you think of this one? What do you think of this one? The boys are, meanwhile, grabbing every candle and smelling them. Yeah. I'm not really paying attention because I'm trying to talk to Cindy with text.
Just smelling candles, yeah.
There's no and then all of a sudden I hear, oh, one of the most expensive candles. It's like in this nice little vase. Drake was trying to open it and it was too hard. So he popped it and just let go of the whole thing. It smashes on the floor. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Immediately 3 people from Target, the Target members, come over. Drake's like crying because he's embarrassed. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, the only thing left was the sticker of what the price was, and I was like, can I take that to the front to pay for it? He said, oh, we don't do that at Target. Don't worry about it. And it's like, just super awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, oh, that's better than Menards. You don't even have to return it.
Right.
You can break it in the store and you're fine.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. I kept thanking. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Then I went back to the boys like, this is why we don't touch things. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So we get done there. We go to the food, the produce of, Target. And we get in there and the cart's pretty full of presents and stuff. But while we're going there, Drake, they both like to hang on the cart.
Yeah.
But Drake likes to hang as far back as possible. And it makes it tough to drive the cart because it's like it's moving it.
Yeah.
So I keep telling him, stop it, stop it, stop it. So we get into the milk aisle and I park the cart there and I'm like, oh, I forgot the cheese. So I'm like, I'm going to go get the cheese. And I'm like, I think they're good. They're sitting on the cart. So I go and I grab the cheese and I turn around to see the cart tipping over on top of Zeke. And eggs, everything go flying everywhere. And I get the freaking movie thing where everybody's gasping around me. Oh my goodness. And I'm like, oh God. But I do the whole natural dad reaction. I know they're okay. I go and I grab the cart and flip it up. I don't pick up Zeke. I go for the eggs to see if they're broken. And of course they are. And then I'm like, oh yeah, everybody's watching me. Zeke, are you okay? And he's like, Yeah, and I'm like, okay, good job. So then I go in and put the eggs back. I'm like, hey, Target doesn't, they don't, they just said
I already know this.
He just told me this. So I put it back and I got new eggs. And then that was my Target day until we got out of the store. And I'm still like at top level. Like they're still misbehaving, like just testing everything. And I'm like, you guys should be at your best behavior. You've already messed up twice. And you should be trying to like be nice right now instead of fighting, and you want your toys, blah, 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 blah. And Drake's in my ear. I get close to the car and I was like, get your A word in the car. Like I said A word and he goes, oh, and I was like, I didn't swear. I said A word. Get it in the car. He's like, but I know what that means. And I was like, I didn't say it. So that was my Target.
Woo.
How was your week, Larry?
I mean, the only
well, no, we already talked about your puking and pooping and all that. That was the week before.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah. The only thing my son little Lowry decided to pee into the sink cup instead of the toilet today.
But did you find out before you guys used the sink cup?
Absolutely. Yeah, he just he goes on his own. He doesn't tell me that he's going or anything. And then I'm in the middle of cooking dinner and he's like, Dad, I peed in the cup. And I'm like,
good job.
What do you mean?
It's called a
toilet.
toilet.
In the cup. And I'm like, give me a second. I walk over there and he's like, look. Just like, oh my God. I was like, don't do that. We're not going to. I'm just like, thank you for telling me. Yeah. And we're not going to have a cup in the bathroom for a while.
Yeah.
And I hope it's the first time.
Oh man. Yeah. Imagine if he did it and it just, you guys never,
you would, I mean, pee smells, right?
Sure.
I hope so. I don't know. He's not a well hydrated boy. So like he can, yeah. Yeah. So boys are gross.
Mm-hmm. They're terrors.
Oh God. What did we get ourselves? What? I'm sorry, Dad and Mom.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, it was. I was again very happy that school started today. Like,
yeah,
we took him out of school because we went to Florida and Universal Studios and stuff. So he was out an extra week, and man, you could just tell he needed they needed the structure of something besides just being at home. So. Oh, I know what it's like to be a parent and wanting school to come back because it was just like today was a good day. I got a lot done. Well, yes.
Would you like to partake in some Malort then? Jepson's Malort?
Malort? What is that even? Is that what kind of booze is that?
The headline that I read was Chicago's favorite drink might be the worst drink in the world.
Where did you get that?
And anybody that I know that has had this explains it like that. Like it is the best worst thing ever, and I am absolutely terrified of it. I got it from a good friend who apparently I like, but he did warn me, and he was just like, I love it. Everybody else hates it.
Oh, really?
How do I drink this? And he goes, take a shot of it. Drink as quick and as little taste as you possibly can.
So are you just going to be taking shots throughout this episode?
No, not shots. Probably just one.
You have a Christmas ornament with it as well, I see.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to keep that one. But I thought there was something. The perfect gift for friends or enemies. That's what I mean. Like for some reason, it's this.
They're like, oh, it's really bad. Like they know it's bad. Oh, and they give you a shot glass, or is that yours?
No. I prepped this because I know, and so this is definitely the first time I've had it. Cracking
man. Oh man.
It just smells like booze.
You sure Lowry didn't get a hold of this beforehand today?
No. It definitely looks like pee though. That's it's very strange.
I am very curious. While you're pouring that, I am just drinking a Jameson. I didn't feel like buying top shelf whiskey, so I just was like, I'm going to try a Jameson on the rocks. I would normally have Jameson with Diet Coke. Pretty good, pretty tasty. Yeah. All right, Go for it.
Okay. So I think this stuff is made from wormwood, and this is also a treatment for worms, and apparently it settles stomachs really well.
Oh,
but
right.
So like,
let's see.
Maybe this could be the new COVID. Maybe the new COVID cure. I don't know.
Maybe you could start that. Yeah, just say it. It'll get believed.
And if this is as bad as I think it is, I just want you to take a shot of this when you lose your Urza Saga.
It's not going to happen, buddy. You know it's not going to happen.
I know.
It's not going to happen unless they ban it. All right, 1.
I haven't had a shot.
2, 3, go. Oh man, he takes it down. Face is all good. Oh, all right. There's a little bit of a seizure that happened there. You all good? How is it?
My body's tingling. Like my hair on my legs are just like dancing.
Oh, it would have been great if it just came right back up. Good?
No. But it's not bad.
Okay,
It's very strange.
All
yeah,
right.
it's not bad right away, and then like you actually.
So is this a party drink to the next party we have that you just bust this out?
No.
You sure about that?
It's very strange.
Yeah, you're still thinking about it. Do you have anything to chase it down with? Are you drinking a beer at all after that?
Yeah, I got a beer. I'm happy for that too. So like it's something that I don't like, but I don't hate. If that makes sense. Like if somebody was.
Do you think it'd be good with like a mixed drink?
No, I don't think so. No, it's very bitter. Okay. Very bitter.
What would it be most like? What kind of booze? None. It's its own.
It's very bitter.
Well, now I gotta
it's still really on my tongue. Yeah, I'll bring it up next time I see you. So actually, what I'm drinking is going to be Founders Brewery, highly acclaimed KBS Cinnamon Vanilla Cocoa Imperial Stout with coffee, cinnamon, vanilla extract, and cocoa nibs aged in oak bourbon barrels. KBS is almost
Yeah, it's all.
Can't say
there
shit.
we go.
There
we go. Yeah.
So if you see Founders KBS, generally just pick it up because it's going to be high quality. It's so fucking bitter. It's like on my tongue. It's like the most bitter IPA you've ever had.
That's funny.
Like if you can think of something like
that's
that.
That's what the booze tastes like.
It's like
kind of crazy.
Alcoholic IPA, just like super fucking bitter. Like I can taste it on the top of my mouth, like on the back, like soft palate part. And normally that's not really like a
good thing. All right. While you're washing that down with a beer, I'm going to get us into our tags. You guys can become a patron like our new patron. And this is kind of an awesome one. It's, hey, Zeus or Jesus.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
You can become a patron like, hey, Zeus. By donating $1 or more. $1 gets you into the Discord, chatting with us, all the people on the Discord. There's a lot going on there, especially for some reason on editing day, Tuesdays. And right before we're about to start the cast, it was all quiet today. And then all of a sudden, like 20 minutes before the cast, it was like boop, 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 boop. But that's where you can get on there. $5 or more gets you proxies each month. We have the common, uncommon, rare, and mythic tiers. As you get up in the tier levels, you can get gross. You gurgling son of a bee.
I don't want this flavor in my mouth. I'm sorry.
We might get a Lowry puke in here halfway through this episode.
Okay.
You should just change it to the elf voice with you gurgling. It'll be pretty funny. But yeah, as you get in the higher tiers, you can get foils of the proxies each month. We send those out each month. Speaking of those, I don't know, by the time this episode comes out, we got a little bit behind with holidays and stuff like that. So last month's are probably going to be combined with this month's. So just so you guys, the patrons that are waiting for your proxies, it'll be combined this month. Okay, so the free way to support the show is to jump on YouTube, watch our videos, subscribe to the channel. You can watch bi-weekly Curated MTG, which was what this week as of today, Larry? What was the Monday Curated MTG this week?
By force.
By force.
And what is red sorcery, destroy X target artifacts?
There we go.
And it's just a budget version of Shattering Spree. It's kind of up around $1 right now. I suggest go getting it because it is a fantastic card. It's probably the arguably second or third best artifact removal, in my opinion.
There we go.
In red. I would, and again, I think it's probably, I spec'd on it when it was like 20 cents. And so I can see
you're already up there.
I got like 20-ish copies.
So I'm not even on the right page, but
good for you.
Yeah. And so I would I'm pushing a spec. Get it up to $2 or $3, please. And then I can start trading it.
Kind of like your the one that hit because of Umbris, but I was giving you the props for it. But anyway, so that is Curated MTG on Mondays and Fridays. You can check that out. Biggest thing with the curated stuff is watch those videos all the way through. Give them a like and a comment on there because we will respond on YouTube especially. Another video that is weekly is Proxy Time. Proxy Time Live is on Sundays at 7:30 typically. This past week I did Flooded Strand, and I did it with three different arts. I'm almost done with all the fetches and the duels. I think I have 2 left of each. The week, or not week before, but last month I did do all 10 of the Shocklands with the Wombo art, so you can check that out as well. That is the bi-weekly thing, but we do also have other videos. Like Larry is saying, Spotlight you're going to try this week? God, that shot did you dirty, dude. I think
my tongue tastes awful. Like, so I don't want to drink my drink because it's a tasty drink, but it doesn't taste good right now.
You're just leaving your tongue outside of your mouth. But like Lowry's, Spotlight will be starting. We'll both be doing Spotlight, but mainly Lowry to start off, especially the switcheroo stuff. So hopefully that is some live stuff you'll be doing. It sounds like you said Thursdays at 9 o'clock Central Time. So check out that as well. And then there is the breaking point, which will be when Secret Layers come out. So those will be little shorts there. So the biggest thing in there is just subscribe, jump on our YouTube channel, watch the videos there. That is the free way to support the show. You can also check out our videos. We will post them on Twitter. That's where we'll post everything that we do, even the switcheroo stuff, any cards and all that stuff, mail day, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. All that stuff happens on Twitter polls, all that fun stuff. So that's Twitter. You can direct message us there, or you can shoot us a direct message on Gmail, which is at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. And that is also the way you can do this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. All right. As you guys know, last week, Lowry did get stumped, so we did do a big giveaway last week to Nick Bundy. How this game works is I'm going to read the flavor text of a card that was suggested by a listener. Lowry is going to try to guess that card by asking yes or no questions. Mm-hmm. Every yes, he will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He gets up to 5 answers wrong. If he gets 5 wrong or gives up, our stumper, which this week is Megan Maduro, she would win. What did we say it was? It was Umbris. Umbris is
Fear Manifest.
The giveaway for this month. So every 4 weeks, if the card is not guessed, or I should say, if Lowry is not stumped, we will add another card onto the table. So into the pot. I think that is it. Oh yeah, card has to be in 5,000 EDH rec decks. Oh, one thing that I actually had a lot of questions for this week, actually by multiple people. Once you enter, your name is in until it gets drawn. So you don't have to keep entering each week. It's put your name in. I put your name on the list. It's already in the box for drawing. And until you get drawn, it doesn't leave. If you want to change what you want, you can do that. like what card you want instead. That also happens. But once you put it in, it's in there until we draw it. It has to be in 5,000 EDH rec decks. And if Lowry guesses everything but the name of the card, everything that it does, what the card does, what it is, casting cost, creature, whatever, he will get the initials of it to give it as a bonus hint. All right, so here we go. Again, Megan Maduro, this is the card. Here's the flavor text. Every choice alters the path of fate. Sarkhan Vol. Every choice alters the path of fate. Sarkhan Vol.
All right, so Sarkhan Vol was a card from Shards of Alara, which was the first set of mythics. Okay, so every path changes fate.
Every choice alters the path of fate.
And so
Sarkhan Vol.
It definitely sounds like a time thing, and so this might probably be from Khan's block. Because there's Ugin's Nexus where he goes back in time with Ugin, and so I want to say it's from the Khan's block. I don't think it's Ugin's Nexus. I'm pretty sure we've had Ugin's Nexus already as a card. And that would be something else. So let's be aggressive, be aggressive, and let's say, is this card from the Khan's block?
You got to give me what's in the Khans block.
God damn it. Khans of Tarkir, Dragons of Kartir, and Fate Reforged.
Hello, boobies.
All right. Okay, so it's from there. Because there's Sarkhan Unbroken from one of those sets as well. I can't quite remember which one it was. Could be Dragon's Triumph. That could be something. Hey, let's take a clue.
All right. The art features what looks like to me to be Sunscorch Regent fighting a guy with a bright sword. The art features what looks like to me to be Sunscorch Regent. You know what card that is, right? Sunscorch
Yeah, that's
Regent.
the white one.
The dragon.
Yeah.
Is what I'm. Sunscorch. The dragon itself looks like that. Fighting a guy with a bright sword.
It might be Dragon's Triumph. I'm just trying to think of the art because I don't really look at it. I just know that I spec'd on it and I was right on that one. But what is the art?
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to be a red card. Is this a red card?
Wrong.
Oh, that's not good. So one down. I'll take another clue.
The card features destruction and indestruction.
Indestruction?
I
Is
did
that
it
the
on
word
purpose.
you wanted to use?
I did because I just wanted.
Destruction and indestruction is something.
Yes.
Is that destruction in something? What does that mean?
It just meant destruction and the opposite. I just wanted to do a little play on words there, even though
This
it's not
could be
real word.
I'm a little bit lost, but that also so destruction and indestruction might mean like.
What did I mean by that? I'm being tricky.
Oh. I think I know what you're talking about. This is. I want to say this card has No. Escalates from a different set. I'm thinking of a different card. Okay. Hold on. I want to say this card, I want to say it's a white card. It's an instant that can either give it indestructible or destroy a creature with power 4 or more. Yeah, colorless, white, instant.
The initials are VS.
All right. I didn't quite give it away. VS. Shit. Can I get the third clue?
That's not going to help you much, but was originally printed in Fate Reforged.
Yeah.
But also caught a recent printing in Crimson Vow with a different art. So you kind of, the third clue isn't going to help you much there.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, you got everything else.
What were the initials?
VS.
S.
V as in Victor.
Yeah.
S as in Sam.
I want to say it's like vengeful. Vengeful. S.
Vengeful shit.
Vengeful shit.
Just a picture of a toilet and poop coming out of it and taking over.
That's a holiday card for you.
Yeah. I'm impressed that you got to, knowing everything that the card does, just not the name of it.
Is the first? Is it vengeful?
Wrong.
Vengeance. Verified only. Verified.
VS.
It's vengeance. Vengeance shit.
Maybe if you can figure out the second word, do you think you could figure that out?
I would bet if I could, that'd be great. Because that's the one that's not even fucking there. All right. This sucks.
Massage.
This is a card that I spec'd on too when it first came out because you could easily.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Creature gaining indestructible or destroying. So you get my destruction and indestruction. Isn't that pretty good?
Okay, I'm starting to get the card kind of formed in my head. The picture. Is the second word stroke?
Wrong.
Strike. It could be strike. I want to say it's like vengeful strike. How many wrong do I got? 3 right now?
You got 3.
What did I ask that first one for the V?
I don't. Rewind the tape. Was it?
I want to say it's vengeful strike. Vengeance strike? Strike? No, it's not vengeful. Vengeful strike makes sense. Stroke. Gross. That's definitely like that's a dirty card of just like vengeful stroke. Oh!
I'm gonna get you back.
VS. I'm so fucking close. It's. I don't want to just say it's strike. Is it? Yeah, it's strike. So is the second word strike?
Wrong.
I'll go through everything again. Every choice alters the path of fate. Sarkhan Vol. You know it is 1 colorless, 1 white instant. Choose 1 target creature gains indestructible until on a turn. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. As a dragon that looks like I almost said the damn word. It looks like Sunscorch Regent. Fighting another guy with a bright sword. We have initials as VS. And I almost said, it looks like VS. And it was, whoa! Because I have the name right next to each other of that and that. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Vagina Sunscorch.
Oh!
Hello, boo.
Just kidding.
I'm
We're going to do 2 weeks in a
feel
row giveaways.
So stupid.
We're going to have to adjust this game so you can actually win some cards or win some of these battles. I'm impressed that you got everything else but the VS.
Damn it. Okay. I feel like I'm so fucking close, but with it not being stroke or strike,
I think that's the word you got to go for. If you can get that second word, I feel like you'll get the first.
Valorous Stance.
Hello, boo.
Boom! How did you do that? How did you do that?
I don't know.
How did you do that? I thought for sure we were giving this card away. I thought for sure we were giving this away.
I thought we were too.
How did you do that? You were nowhere near it. You're like, I'm so close, and I'm like, you're not close at all. Like, every suggestion is not there. So was it the stance part that got it? Like, did you figure out the S?
Yeah, once I heard once stance happened, I was like, oh, got it. Yeah. But like, I don't know how I got there. You know, you're just running through like just words of S, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? I think probably the biggest help was when I finally got the picture in my head.
Yeah, with the dragon. No, don't you think that looks like Sunscorch Regent? I kind of pulled.
I don't know specifically, but just like the bright sword in the middle, and then like the angle and going against the dragon. Like once that started, like kind of forming in my head, going, okay, I know this card, I know this fucking card, even if I know like everything that's going on, if I can't put the picture to it, it's a struggle for me. Like I'm very strongly associated with the pictures.
Yeah.
And because that's what allows me to go through when I'm looking through cards. I don't look at the name, I don't look at what's going on, I just look at the picture and I know what's going on.
Right.
And so if I can't get the picture in my head, I struggle.
Yeah. I'm just impressed you came up with a name after that.
Holy shit.
You're so far from it. I was like, all right, we're giving it back-to-back weeks. Here we go.
Yeah. Is there another word for savant? That's not savant.
Stump the stupid Smith.
Thanks. Yep, I would appreciate that game.
I'm kidding. I could not do any of these. I would probably get out of every 10 that you get, I would get one of those 10. Like that's just.
I'm sorry, Megan.
That was good though.
That was Jesus, good. That was a good one. Holy shit.
Good. All right. Well, like Megan, you can send your requests. Just send them to the email. If you're not a Discord member, if you're a Discord member, you can just shoot me a direct message. But on an email, just make sure Adam's eyes only. Lowry doesn't typically check that unless I'm like, hey, check out the email. But so he stays away from that. But Twitter, that's a no-go. If you do Twitter, you're screwed. He's gonna know.
I'll find it.
Yeah,
and I'll read it.
And he'll pretend like he didn't see it, and then do this whole charade. And
hey, did you see that Twitter message from Jay Serrator? No, me neither.
Yeah,
you should check it out.
You should check it out. I think it's about Stump this Miss Savant. All right, so now we move into the main guy.
I would just say,
whoops.
Just a tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels.
I had two buttons at once.
Ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Ouch, ouch, you're on my hair. Or
I would just say,
build a better deck.
That's what the segment name is.
Oh shit, it is.
I would just say, build a better deck.
Yeah, that is perfect. I gotta write that next to this.
Yeah, that's absolutely what we should do.
Say, build a better deck. All right, we just accidental fat finger pressing. I pressed two buttons at once.
Build a better deck.
I would just say build a better. Okay, build a better deck. One of my favorite buttons of all time. Build a better deck. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are looking at precons and kind of giving basically, well, it is just the tips as well.
Yeah.
But they come out with the precons all the time. Now they're coming out with every set. There are, like I said earlier, they are getting better and better, being more and more better power level, I guess. But we don't do power levels. They can compete like against our normal decks. They do a pretty good job.
They aren't just a shit show where you're going like, what the fuck is going on?
But they still do need some tweaks.
Because I mean, they're selling it at a certain price. They're not going to or can't. It's not smart to put in shock lands, fetches, and or those staples that we're not going to talk about. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so understand that they're not going to do that. If you got those, play it. If you smoke it, you got it.
Because then if they do that, then basically they have to take the value out somewhere else, and so your other stuff will just go down. So what they've been doing lately is spreading the value with like mediocre cards and not just giving you a couple good cards and crap everywhere else.
Yes.
So basically the plan of attack, this is going to be kind of like a blueprint episode. So to give you an idea, episode 130 is our blueprint episode. That is how to build the deck, and that is what we are going to be going off of. And that was the episode where we broke down when you're building a deck. And I use this. I've been using this since we did that episode because we formulated this together on what amount of cards you should use in each of these categories, like recursion, the main idea, drawing cards, pet cards, protection, the winning the game, which is Day of Dragons, what we call it, side themes, removal, ramp, mono rocks, and then your land. Those are we have numbers associated with those for each one of those. And we're kind of going to use that here and go through what things you want to attack. But what is one of the first things we should do when looking at these precons?
I don't know.
Look at the theme. The theme.
Oh, you're right.
Commander.
Okay, let's look at the commander. Let's see what the fuck is going. I don't know. Oh, this wormwood is getting me.
Didn't we for the first time talked for like an hour last night to pre-talk about this one because we're like, we don't want to. This is like our blueprint episodes. These are big episodes. These are ones that like you guys should be using. So we like for the first time.
I thought you were trying to go back to what we started with. We wanted to start with land, but yes, it's look at the commander, build around it.
Yeah. You want to see what the deck is doing. Like, does it have enough of what that commander is?
Yep.
And what's the example that we're going to be using today?
I don't know. Why are you doing this?
No, the commander.
Oh, the commander.
The deck.
So we're doing Spirit Squadron.
We are never talking again before the podcast. We are winging it all the time. No. Why do we plan stuff out at all? It's just hard. We're bad at this. We can't read a script. If you guys ever want us to do anything with script related stuff and have organization, that's where we fail.
If you would like us to know what we're doing, you're gonna have to not listen, I guess. Okay.
If you want us to wing it, we're really good at winging it. We are really good at winging it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So
really,
we're looking
really
at
quick side note. Really quick side note. Probably about 15 before we got into Stump the Smith Savant, I was like, man, I haven't had a laugh cry in a long time, like on the cast, and I was like, I wonder when we're gonna get that. Well, it just happened right now because I'm crying.
I can't stop. I'm sorry.
All right. So, what is the deck that we are kind of, we're not going to tell you cards to get rid of, but we are going to kind of give you like examples. This is the example deck we're going to talk about.
Okay. So we're going to talk about Spirit Squadron, which is the blue-white spirit deck that they made. The commander is Millicent, Restless Revenant, 5 colorless, white-blue, 4/4. This spell costs 1 less for each spirit you control. It has flying, and whenever Millicent or another non-token spirit you control dies or deals damage to a player, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So
right there, right away, I mean, my first thought was, without looking at the deck, I'm just looking at the commander. I'm like, okay, in my head, if I was building this deck, I would probably go the route of making my spirits unblockable, trying to get through, doing more damage. We keep making more tokens, and then overrun somehow, not overrun, but kill somebody with a lot of damage, kill all the players, and this is how I'm going to win. Yep. But that's not how this deck goes, right? There's a different theme to this one. That is more dealing.
it definitely seems when you're looking through the deck, it seems very token heavy, and it seems wrath heavy. And so like if you wrath everything with Millicent in play, I'm assuming that it creates that many 1/1s for as many non-token spirits as you have that die, and then that gives you an army. You're probably recasting Millicent off of it because if you have enough mana,
you have all those,
you have those tokens, or that would reduce the cost. And so
it makes sense.
What they
like, when you
did
think
was
about
not
it,
the wrong thing. Yeah,
no,
for sure.
That's a good idea. You're wiping the board. No one else has stuff. You're the only one with a bunch of little 1/1s and a 4/4 flyer.
Yep. And so you got the wraths, the tokens, spirit angle, and then you have there's like a little tapping sub theme, and we'll get to that. But so
and
like
recursion, right? Wasn't there recursion?
Yeah, and there's recursion because you're wrathing. So that also, they work well together. So the deck does fairly well on a whole, but like when you look through the deck list and you're kind of going like picking on one card here for kind of each section that we're going to go with in the theme of spirits or the tokens, like Geist of Saint Traft in this deck, a great card. I love it. Doesn't really fit this deck. And so like it's a spirit and it's making a token, right? But like there's no evasion with it. It's kind of cheap, but it's still easily killable. It's not making a spirit token. The token goes away at end of combat. Like it doesn't actually really fit in this deck, even though
it's just a good spirit is what it is. And making an angel is kind of, I guess.
And so this is where I would look at that card and go, it's not, even though it's a spirit, it's not really in theme.
Right, because you get it out. Yeah, it has hexproof. They can't target it. But where's your evasion? Like you just said. How you getting this through to actually kill somebody? You're getting a 4/4.
All of your other spirits have flying. Almost,
there's your evasion right there.
Yep.
This does not.
And so this is kind of going to be a dead card in your deck. And so like,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Nope.
I was just gonna say. So like right there with what you've identified there is you go through and you figure out, well, which are the weaker links? What is the weakest links? And you kind of cut those and you replace them with better cards that are doing what the theme that you want to do. And that's the thing too with a lot of these is, in my opinion, this deck, if I were to get this deck, I'd go, all right, I see what it's doing. First glance, I would take out like that card, for example, and I'd take out the recursion stuff. I would still have some, but I would probably more focus on adding more evasive stuff, things that are going to help mine be unblockable, or maybe double down on, I do like that idea of the destroying all creatures. Maybe you go a little more heavier on that side because you're just continuously wiping the board and getting more 1/1s out and somehow pumping your 1/1s, maybe having like a Cathara's Crusade where your 1/1s are actually coming out as 5/5s or 7/7s or whatever. So
and I guess I'll say this right now. I think, they do have that token in the theme, sub theme. Like it's definitely there and it's strong, but there is no support for tokens in this deck. It's just a lot of cards that tokens.
There's a lot of cards that add to tokens. Like what's the one that turns them into 4/4s if you make a token? The divine visitation.
Yeah. I mean, you can even go with like tangible virtue. There's an enchantment that gives your tokens +1/+1 and vigilance.
Yep.
It's something super cheap, efficient, but it doubles the power of your tokens. And those are just kind of some things that you can kind of go and like, why are there tokens in this deck? Other than like, you could totally just rely on the tokens that Millicent, makes within this deck structure. But there's plenty of cards that make tokens, and so you can fully support it. You can go and like we're saying, you can go through and take out Geist of Saint Traft, and then pick a card that has flying, supports tokens, or supports recursion, or just trying to make the deck stronger, fuller, and kind of like in the same, kind of just like moving all in the same direction.
Yeah.
And one thing that I would say too is I think the curve is all right. Like they're doing fine with it. So stick close to whatever you're taking out with your CMC as a general guide, at least where you're starting. So with Geist of St. Traft at 3, find something that's like 2, 3, 4. Somewhere in that range right there. You don't want to be like,
don't put it as 7.
yeah. That's a big thing is like, oh, I want this gangbuster right here. I'm going to take out my 3 mana thing. I was like, well, you might be throwing off your curve there. You'll need to know your deck a little bit better in that regard. But when you're taking, like, try and aim for something that's within that mana value.
Yeah.
That would be part of my suggestion.
Yep, that's a good point there. So in general, when you're getting these precons, you take the commander and kind of what the deck is doing, and just figure out where you want that deck to go, and just re-emphasize that. Take out the other parts that aren't doing what you want it to do. And let's just touch on this really quick to get it out of the way, like we talked about earlier, with the yearly commander decks that come out and you have 3 different commanders that can be intertwined with those. They go a lot more general of the multiple themes in a way. And so with those, what you want to do is figure out, this is the commander I want to use. Now let's get rid of the other stuff that they're making work with the other 2 commanders. If it's not really working with the theme, those ones you can really mess with those. I think those more than these, you can mess with the main idea more.
Yep.
The main point of what the deck is doing. So, and to give you an idea, and you broke down these numbers here. You broke down the deck. Normally we do 15 to 25 cards for the main idea. This one itself has 13. So this is under our lowest, we would say, for the main idea in it. So there's where you want to fine tune a little bit with this. So then after we kind of get done, is that it for the main idea, right? Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So then the next probably the most important thing, not most important, but just the next thing on the list is getting into lands, right? I mean, that's where we want to go next. Now, they used to be really bad with tap
They
lands.
normally go like 42, 43 lands.
Oh,
tap lands.
Tap lands.
It was really inefficient. This here, they only have 35 lands in here. I'm actually really surprised by that.
That is very surprising because we say 36 to 38 and they went 35.
Yeah. For 2 color decks, I go 36 land, and for 3+ I go 38. And so just as a general basis, and they went 35 here. And that can kind of depend on the curve for it. You know, I haven't looked at the statistical breakdown of where things line up, but in general, this would tell me that if they're running this pretty well, that probably tells me they need to up their CMC cost a little bit so that maybe they, and again, we'll get to this, is, spoiler alert, but they don't have any like huge bangers in this either.
There isn't necessarily how you're going to win the game, your Day of Dragons in this.
Yeah.
One thing that you also pointed out, and they tend to do, is run a shit ton of basics.
Yes.
So that is probably one of the first, besides looking at your tapped lands in this, but it's looking at dropping down your basics. I don't remember, let's see. You can check out also with this part, episode 94, we do talk about proper mana bases. And that is where we talk about each color. Like if you're playing a 1 color deck, you're playing a 2 color, 3 color, 4 color, all the way up to 5. How many basics you should be running and how many utility lands. So kind of run off of that, but in general, I think
they're running 23 basics, I believe, in this deck.
And I think I have 10 to 15 is what I normally have, right?
I stick 12 to 16. And so like in a 2 color deck, I think I don't go more than 16. So you can easily cut a bunch of basics and put in
utility
lands. Just avoid those come into play tapped lands that gain you a life, or the scry lands are fine. Scry lands are solid in my opinion, but it also depends on whatever your budget or whatever your collection is doing. So, but there's something like Moorland Haunt, which You exile a creature in your graveyard to put a 1/1 spirit token into play. Spirits totally work in this line.
Fits in the theme. Or you use Rogue's Passage in this example, then you're giving your stuff unblockable, so it's getting through and you're not losing your creature. Or maybe even using some sack lands. There's some that you can sacrifice a creature. Is it to gain a life? Is it what is that one?
Market. It's market.
Yeah. High market?
High market. Yeah.
Yep. So like you can find some other stuff that you can use that fit in your theme of what the deck is doing and just take out those basics, and that helps make your theme continue. And that's the cool thing about lands. That's why they're my favorite thing in the game, is because you can find what your idea of your deck is with a land that's giving you mana and then also doing with what your theme is. So this is why land is probably one of your most important things to attack right after you figure out what you're doing with the theme. Was there anything else? We talk about fetches and all that stuff in this. Okay. Yeah. So then we move on to, again, mana is important. So the next thing we get into is what? Mana Rocks, right? We go Mana Rocks next. Ramp and Mana Rocks. Yes. This one, what do we have here? We're running this deck. You had 10 Mana Rocks in this deck. We typically, or 10 Mana Rocks and ramp. We want 13 to 17 ramp cards and Mana Rocks. There was 8 total rocks and 2 ramp cards. I feel like that's really low for ramp. You want to have a little bit more ramp. There's a lot of destroy artifact stuff. I think your Mana Rocks is probably good. You could fine tune some things in there, maybe switch out some of the diamonds into other better things. But
I think the diamonds are fine when it comes to I wouldn't sit down and be like, that shit is terrible.
No, you can definitely work with those. Those are fine.
Yeah, and the one, like, as an example of what I'll kind of pick on here is Azorius Locket. And it's 3 colorless. You can tap it for a white or a blue, and then you can hybrid white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, tap it, sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. So this is an example of a card that's like, it's not early and quick, and it's not really powerful, and like Commander's Sphere is just better. It's just way, way better.
That is in here though. The Commander's
Sphere. That's what I'm saying. It's just it's here, and that should show you like clearly this is better. And maybe the big thing is that 4 hybrid plus tapping and sacrificing it to draw 2 cards. That is a lot of mana.
Yeah.
When it comes to drawing 2 cards, because at the end of that, you probably aren't going to be able to play those cards. That's like your spell for the turn. And when you're just trying to get cards in your hand, this is okay, but you don't have a lot of ramp, so you're giving up your ramp when it comes to that as well. So technically, this is 5 mana, sacrifice it, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
And you're losing a mana. Like that's kind of rough. And again, in my opinion, and you're just 2 colors in this kind of deck. So you don't need to fully rely on that white blue ramp. You can go into your colorless stuff that can be cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, something like Mind Stone, which is 2 colorless, taps for colorless, and pay 1, tap it, draw a card, sacrifice, draw a card. Or you can push it up into something like more powerful that is 4 or 5 mana that can get you 2 or 3 mana at a tap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like this is just in that range of it's not cheap and quick, and it's not powerful. It's just kind of like this mediocre card that's fine, but it's you're going to probably you're going to be frustrated with it when you draw those cards.
Yeah.
And so like I think there are better options out there. I wouldn't count on it as a draw card.
Right.
It's a desperation part of drawing cards.
Yep. You're at the end of the game and just trying to find something to.
Yeah. And I would if you're doing that, if you're thinking like that, that means you don't have enough card draw in your deck.
Yeah. I would say it's not terrible, but I also don't play with these. Like, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
These are
I don't even consider them.
These are not in any of my decks. If this is in your deck, it's not bad. I mean, if it is giving you 2 cards to draw.
I'm not going to flip the table and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Get that shit out of here.
It's not a wall of stone, to Jeremy's credit. No, I'm just kidding.
Inside joke.
But no, in this spot, I mean, you there's a lot of options out there. Like you said, the 2 drops that you can get out there, or even find some stuff that's going to get you land, get you some ramp maybe to add in here. I think that's what this deck is lacking a little bit, is the ramp. The mono rocks are, we have a decent amount. Look for some of that ramp stuff. So, and that's with everything. That's almost with every single precon. It needs more ramp and rocks, and that's what it's missing. And this deck is showing that same thing. It's 3 under our minimum of what we normally have in our decks. Okay, so we get done with the lands. Mono rocks and ramp. Then where do we move to? What is our next area that we kind of look at when we're
going to head over to removal?
Okay. So removal, what do we have in this? We have where do I see my removal? Okay. This one's actually pretty good with the removal. We have a lot in this, don't we? But it might be more fine-tuning what the kind of removal you're using. But this has 11, and that's because that's kind of the theme. That's a side theme. So this works with this deck. But a lot of times, they don't have this much removal. This has how many mass removals in it? We have 1, 2.
I didn't break down.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 that are just all out destroy the table.
If you can if you want to do a sub theme that works into one of the main removal, ramp, protection, recursion, like if you work your sub theme into one of those categories instead of just being a straight up different sub theme, that helps. That it does make a deck more powerful because you're leaning into one of those important categories. Just as a FYI, side bit. But removal, I'm going to pick on a Hanged Executioner in this deck. It's 2 colorless, white, 1/1 flying. When it ETBs, put a 1/1 spirit into play, and then you can pay 3 colorless and a white, exile it and a target creature. This, if you're looking at it as removal, it's too expensive.
Yeah, but I will say that it's better in that it has a spirit, a flying spirit at that. It isn't crazy expensive for 3, and it is adding a little bit of a bonus to have that in there. I think I like that better than Geist of St. Trap, because that just doesn't fit with the theme. I feel like this...
it doesn't do anything beyond. Right. I can agree with that part. And this here was more of, like, I don't hate this.
But if it's counting as your removal...
yeah,
maybe count it as a half.
Because at 4, you're hitting like Wrath territory, where you can your 4 and 5 is where you can just destroy the board. So it's kind of like, if you're counting on this as singular removal, you should almost just add in another Wrath effect, to destroy the board.
And to piggyback on what you're saying there, is why this isn't as good if this is your removal, is you don't even get the benefit of what your commander is doing. Your commander needs it to die, not be exiled. So this is being exiled, so you don't even get the bonus of, hey, I'm exiling it, getting a 1/1 spirit and exiling another creature. This is, you're exiling it, you're not getting anything from it, and you're exiling another creature. So it doesn't do anything with that. The benefit, though, that you could do is, it is attacking, so you get a 1/1 from that. Or does it have to deal damage? Wait.
It has ETB. Oh, it has to deal damage.
Or another creature dies or deals combat. So I agree. I think that's a good point with that one.
And so if you're looking at singular like spot removal, you want that to be in like the 1, 2, and 3 converted mana cost. And if it's at 3, it has to be very flexible. It needs to be able to hit 2 or 3 different types of permanents, or 2 or 3 different utilities. It's almost like a modular spell. There's Swords to Plowshare in here, fantastic. best removal in the game. That's great that it's in here, and that's 1 mana. One thing that this deck definitely lacks is its instant speed interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, this is somewhere where you can go and find, what's the gift? What's the white gift that destroys any permanent and gives a 3/3 elephant?
Oh, Gifts Ungiven?
No. Generous gift.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's what the elephant.
Gifts Ungiven.
I
That's
don't know.
banned. It's fucking banned.
It has gift in the name,
It does. Generous Gift is something that's a fantastic card. I like Crush Contraband in this deck. Like, that's fine. 4, it gives you flexibility of exiling an artifact or enchantment, but like 4 mana to exile 1 creature, it's very singular. It's expensive. It's not working with your commander, like you're saying. So it's just something that is like, yeah, it looks like it's on theme, but it's kind of off.
Mm-hmm. Protection in this deck. What do we have? We have 6 in this deck. We typically want 5 to 9 is what our blueprint episode does, or what we came up with. So there's, again, with everything here, it's all fine tuning these things. Like, look at those. But these, now we're kind of getting into the stuff that isn't as important. It is good to protect yourself, but we've hit the main heads of. I'd give one other thing that we kind of put towards the end. Was there anything?
Okay.
What do you want to more say with protection stuff? I think fine tuning the types of protection is my thing with that.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I think the biggest thing, and this is probably the only place where I'll put like the staples, is get Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots in here. Like,
and I think, did they have Swift?
You should
this?
I don't think they had any.
Oh, that was the other commander deck. Yeah, you should have.
So
those
like,
in
you
here.
should have one, if not both, in there to, at the very least, if you're like us and you're centering your deck around your commander, you really fucking need that commander to stick around.
Yeah, because not only are you're getting your commander to give you also the attack off the first one if you get haste with it as well.
Yeah.
So
those are, there's only a few cards where I just like really, really have to consider, it's right. It's if Soul Ring's A, these are B.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 are B. Like, I would just get them in here. They are fantastic.
Yep.
You need them in here somehow.
Yep.
So that's all I would say.
The only way I would say that you wouldn't have it in is if you had creatures that did it, but most of the time you just want those in all the time. You want them in. Yeah. Okay, so then we go from protection is kind of the next thing you look at. Then the following is draw. Just make sure you have enough draw on it. It's very important when building a deck from scratch. When you're tweaking a deck, it's still very important, but sometimes you just might not be able to fit as much in there. Normally when we're saying a tweaking deck, I guess I'm not saying this is for beginners or people that are new to the game. But it is typically, I don't normally, when we get the precons, I normally just go play with it when we do our little whatever. We play the decks without changing them. But then if I'm changing it, it's tearing it apart, because I'm like, I don't want this theme. This is how I want it.
Like 3 or 4 cards make it from the precon into whatever deck maybe.
Right. Exactly. So with this, I don't think you need to adjust the draw a ton. It would be good to add more. The stuff we talked about before this is the most important things to make a solid deck, a playable deck, a fun deck to play with your buddies and all that stuff. But draw is something you want to look at next. What do we have for draw? There's 12 in this, and we normally say
it's enough to
15.
keep your hands kind of going. Yeah. Like, it's nothing stellar, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it'll probably keep your hands full and, you moving forward. So,
yeah. So, I think one of the things that they are always lacking is our next thing. And it isn't as important because you can still have a fun game without having this. But if you don't have a game winner, if you don't have a Day of Dragons, and that's what we call game winners.
Yeah.
You have no way of closing out. Try to have your game winners. If somebody goes, how do you win the game? And you go, I don't know. I just have creatures and I kill people.
I don't.
Like that's, you need to have something that, not a combo necessarily, but something that is, this is what should win me the game. This one, what did you say? It stretches at how many game winners in this?
I said maybe one. So like example, it's Oyobi, the spirit who split the heavens, 6 colorless white, 3/6 flying. Whenever you cast a spirit or arcane spell, create a 3/3 white spirit creature with flying. And the reason why there's a game ender is kind of just like, you have enough recursion in this deck, and you're going to constantly be casting spirits to get more spirits. But this is so grindy at 7 mana that it won't ever actually really win you the game unless your decks are really, if you're playing regular 2-hour games and nobody's closing out in that hour to hour and a half range, this will probably be fine. But if you're like, these guys are, everybody's ending the game so quick, it's because of this. It's because this is a grindy 7 mana game ender that it's only going to work for slow decks.
Yeah.
Again, like, it depends on where you are. That's the big thing. Like, you can listen to podcasts all day, but you need to know who and what you're playing against and understand like trying to play within that range so that you don't want to be too good because you get picked on, but you don't want to be too bad where you just never have a chance either. So you need to realize where this dick fits.
I know where it fits, Larry.
where this deck fits within your range.
We never have a problem with it fitting, Larry. We never.
No, we don't. That's my belly button.
It feels tight to me.
And so, yikes. So that is a game winner per se, but there are plenty of good white or blue cards that could just go in here.
I'm going to mention one thing. I mentioned precast with it too, or it might have been when we talked yesterday. I don't remember when I was up. Akroma's Will. Like, this covers everything of our bases here. You not only get your protection, but it's a game winner. The double strike will give you double the tokens if you're hitting with those. Like, there's so much, like, that is a 4-drop. Like, that's so much better than this 7-drop. Like, you put that in there, and this actually is a game winner. This is what I would consider a game winner. It is also considered a protection spell. It is also fitting with your theme. It is all around a card that should be in this deck. But there's so many cards, and we've talked about this. We just recently had the white episode. Yikes. What is going on? Yikes. What is going on with this episode? The episode where he said, "Is white the new best color?"
It's fine. You could have said that, but you reacted poorly. Now we're in trouble.
Is white the new best color?
Our only white episode. Oh my goodness.
Because it has so many good, like, tools to use. So I mean, there's so many game winners that you could add into this, and a lot of the precons do that though. They don't have enough ways to close out the game, and this is a good example of it here. It's just counting on the playing creatures and maybe winning off of damage.
I'm probably okay with Wizards doing that though too, like putting out stuff that, like, when they play well together, nobody's fucking just smashing face. Like, if you get Triumph of the Hordes early and just can win. Like, I wouldn't like that either if they were putting precons out there and you were just playing precons. Like,
but dude, how much does Akroma's Will, like, just fit in this deck? Like, I'm surprised that it didn't make it in there, to be honest with you. It's like, it gives them flying. Most of them have flying. Vigilance, double strike. Okay. Those all fit with the theme.
Yeah.
If your commander's out, lifelink, indestructible, protection, more evasion. It's like, what? I don't know. It's just weird. Okay. So that was the game winners. Then we kind of, the last little bit in our blueprint is your side themes and your recursion. They're kind of around the same thing here.
Right now in this deck specifically, recursion is kind of a side theme, and the other sub-theme, side piece. Sub-theme is tapping, like I mentioned earlier. And number one, tapping is just kind of like a weak form of removal. It's very like for a split second in the game. Yeah. So like I wouldn't, it's not removal. It's just kind of like, hey, get out of the way for a second and then let me kind of poke you. And then you're just getting hit right back. It doesn't really matter at that point. Anyway, like in this deck for the sub theme, they have like 5 or 6 cards that are tapping themed. Cut them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just cut them all.
Like
don't want them.
I'm looking at Shacklegeist and it's like tap 2 untapped spirits you control.
Yeah.
Tap target creature you don't control. It's like, okay, so now you're tapping 2 of the creatures that could give you spirits.
Yeah.
Just to tap down something that maybe can get through. Like what? Like
this
is bad.
And so like
why is that?
Yeah, it's not very good. So like tapping is something like I'm going to make a tapping deck, but it is the main theme.
Yeah.
It's so that you can do it consistently. If you're just doing it haphazardly, like or you don't have any stacks pieces in here, I wouldn't suggest putting stacks pieces in because it fucking sucks playing against it and kind of with it. So tapping in this sense right here just doesn't really work. And so I definitely would just cut and because then you can just go into your token support, which is a strong theme in your deck that you have no actual support for. And what it does is that will help streamline your deck. When it comes to recursion in this deck, it's very, other than the new card that they made, that's a Storm of Souls. That's a fucking fantastic card. I think we had that at number 2 on our list for new cards from Crimson Vow. But
Storm of Souls, where is that one?
It's 6 mana. It's sorcery top.
Yep.
That's a fantastic card. But there is a bunch of recursion here that's like singular or once a turn, and that's a really slow, grindy way. And they're making a fair deck. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but what you kind of want to do is if you're wrathing like you are, then you want to bring them back. Similar to that idea, like Storm of Souls. Bring back as many as you can.
Not just one.
Not bring them to your hand, not once at a time. It's bring a bunch back at once. And then that's kind of card advantage to a degree because you're going, this one card's going to get me 4 cards on the field. And that's cheating mana. That's good stuff right there. If it's going into your hand, super fucking slow. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that within your play style or your meta, but at the same time, like if you're wondering, I'm not fast enough, games are getting closed out before, that's kind of what's happening. And so because you're still getting a ton of tokens. So my big thing I think here is cut out the tapping theme, add in some token support because that's already what your deck is doing.
Yeah.
And I think that would greatly improve what's going on there.
Yep. All right.
I hope we helped.
So just to reiterate, Larry's throwing his notes away. Just reiterate really quick. When looking at any of these precons, not just this precon, but any precon, the first thing you want to do is check out what your commander, your theme, what is going on there. Then move on to the lands. Check out how the lands are. If there's too many basics, add some utility lands in there. Go over to Monorox. Make sure Monorox and Ramp were sitting good with that. You want at least, what do we have there? Those are where you want a lot. You want 13 to 17. Check out those. Again, episode 130 is when we talk about the blueprint. And then episode 94 is when we talk about the mana bases. So your proper mana bases. You're going to do another shot of that? Okay. 3, 4 is then when you jump in the removal. 5 is protection. 6 is draw. 7 is your game winners, Day of Dragons. 8 is your side themes and your recursion. So that is kind of just a tip or a just build a better deck. Oh, damn it. I got away from
kind of afraid. This is so weird.
I would just say build a better deck.
That's a good one. So I think I'm just going to sip this.
You're just going to take a sip?
How sipping goes.
All right. So now, while Larry's sipping his fantastic.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
We jump into
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight!
Staple versus. Why did you drink more? Why did you have more?
I wanted to sip it, and it's just not good. And so I downed it.
Oh, no, you drank the whole thing. Do you have anything to chase
it was a half shot. I only did a half shot. I was only wanting to sip it.
I don't even think I can see your eyes anymore. All right, I'll go through this while Larry's recovering from his shot. So Staple Versus, we are picking 2 cards each week, and we are battling each other to figure out which one is the winner. Actually, you guys are going to figure out which ones are the winner by voting on Twitter, voting on the community page on YouTube, or if you're part of the Discord, we have it there. You can vote all 3 places, and then we compile the numbers beep, boop, boop, pop, pop, pop at the end and see who the winner is. Last week, we had Burgeoning against Exploration. All right, where do you think this went, Lowry?
Well, Burgeoning's a better card, so I'm assuming that it won the votes.
All right, now we're going to take the Truth Serum, like your shot. What did you think was actually the better card of the 2?
Exploration, I prefer better.
Okay, so Twitter.
Okay, I'm glad that you got that clean. That's
Twitter
liar.
Voted 62% for Exploration.
Yeah.
YouTube voted 61% for Exploration. Discord voted 63% for Burr Exploration.
All right.
62% is the winner for Exploration. I think the problem was it's situational depending on your opponents. I think that's kind of the tough thing. It's really, really good. Like we talked about in the whatever last week. It's really good in the beginning games. Like there's really you look like what Gitrog looks like as a person. Like you're doing the frog tongue.
Thanks. It's not good. It's so weird. It is so fucking weird.
I really want to try some now. Okay, so what are we? What
you
is
only get to try it on when we're recording. It's the only time I'll let you have it.
You mail it to me. What are we doing for this week for our Staple Versus?
Okay, so we're gonna do Psychosis Crawler, which is gonna be Adam's bad card.
Woo!
Versus my good card of Chasm Skulker. Chasm Skulker is 2 colorless blue, 1/1. But whenever you draw a card, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then if it dies, you get to put that many fucking squid tokens into play.
Wow.
Well, what do you mean?
Wow.
And they're 1/1s with Island Walk? Maybe not. I don't know. I could be making shit up.
Nope, you're right. They're with Island Walk.
Yeah, that's fucking good. Everybody plays islands.
Who plays blue? Blue sucks.
What? What? No. Okay. Well, how about you bring up your shitty card?
So, Psychosis Crawler. I love this card because I played this in 60 card decks. I played this in Commander decks.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic card because it's an artifact. 5 colorless, so it's a little bit more than Chasm Skulker, but it is power and toughness, star. It's equal to the amount of cards in your hand. But whenever you draw a card, not just one opponent, each opponent loses a life. This is freaking fantastic. And
who wants to do that?
Nekasar decks or any type of wheel effect deck, like this is just amazing.
Royale? Who plays Royale? Nobody plays Nekasar. I haven't seen that deck in a long time.
You saw when I play. What are you talking about?
I close my eyes when you play. Look, Psychosis Crawler is okay. It's 5 mana versus 3. I'll take 3 mana. I'll get that down so quick.
Is that what we're doing? We're going against the mana base here. It's
yeah, of course. 3. I mean, that is something.
Yeah, but right? what if you're playing multicolor deck? We don't know what kind of deck we're playing here. We know at least it has blue
one
in it.
Blue is going to be so restrictive.
What if
it's a
5-color, like a Nekasar deck right there? That's a 3-color, dude.
Chasm Skulker is just easier to come into play.
And then at that point, you get one.
By the time Psychosis Trawler comes into play, Trawler.
You're trolling.
You know what? By the time that comes into play, Skulker's already a 7/7 beating face.
So, okay. You're getting your Chasm Skulker in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's getting chump blocked left and right. You know, people are like,
fantastic.
Chump block it.
It's removal on a stick.
Yeah, sure. You're killing off those 1/1s. Way to go there, buddy.
No. It's a 7/7. And then when somebody wraths the board, you're the only one with 8 1/1s.
Who's gonna do that when that's
what do you mean?
Out there?
Yeah, that's a good point. So you're gonna stop people from wrathing the board, and then
Psychosis
you just
Crawler.
keep on going with your plan.
Psychosis Crawler is you in control. You're going, hey, I'm gonna windfall into a Winds of Change, into a Wheel of Fortune, and everybody's dead. Like, that's what happens. You just fucking kill everybody. You don't have to wait for somebody to kill your Chasm Skulker to get a bunch of little 1/1s that can only attack blue players, which who plays blue? No, just kidding. That is not my argument who plays blue, because everybody plays blue. And there's a lot of counterspell people.
Guess who's going to vote against you?
Yeah.
All the Democrats.
What happened to this episode? It's that booze. It's that booze.
It's Malort. It's Malort.
Can you have that every episode?
No, I can't. Okay, so the thing is that Psychosis Crawler is way easier to kill as well. It's not only a creature, it is also an artifact. And artifacts are really easy to kill.
I thought you wanted Chasm Skulker to be killed.
You want to have Skulker killed after a period of time.
It's not an artifact.
Psychosis Crawler has no bonus for dying. What?
So Chasm Skulker is lacking it not being an artifact, so it's garbage. If it was an artifact, then it could be killed easier and you could get those easier. But now it's more difficult to kill. So how is that going to go away?
This is not a good argument here. I don't. That one doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, just going with what you're saying there.
Yeah, well, I'll just have a sack outlet, and because I'm planning on sacrificing it.
Oh, so you're sacking it. You need another card, right? I guess I do need cards to draw.
Oh, weird.
Psychosis Crawler is going
Not
to
only do you need Windfall, but you need Wheel of Fortune, and you need Winds of Change, and then another wheel, and then maybe you win the game.
But you also need that to make your Chasm Skulker get bigger.
You don't need to. You could just play a regular fucking game with Skulker.
Okay. So you're going to win the game.
Still have it huge.
You're going to win the game in 30 turns? Yep. Okay, I'll see ya.
Yep. That's how I like to win games. I would much rather have Skulker.
And you're going to pick out one player at a time. You're like,
because there's always going to be a Wrath.
I got you for another.
And Psychosis Crawler, just if you go Psychosis Crawler and it survives a turn, then you get to wheel maybe once or twice, maybe
twice.
And with Skulker, it comes down so early that you're able to make it a huge creature so early.
Make it a huge 1/1 gets up to a 3/3 by the time.
And essentially, people are going like, I don't want to kill that.
So wait.
They have to either kill it quick or they don't kill it.
Psychosis.
They don't want to wrath. They don't want to destroy it.
Typically like a 5 to a 7/7, so it's already bigger than Chasm Skulker.
I doubt it. You don't have enough draw in your deck, and so generally it's like a 2/2 or a 3/3.
You don't know. Oh, this is one of my favorite segments because it's just us bullshitting, bullshit. You guys vote. That's all it is. It's like we just make up shit. Like the fact that you want Chasm Skulker, it's bad because it's not an artifact.
Off the rails.
You guys can decide what the winner is, unless you have more arguments you'd like to make. I think I'm good. I rest my case.
I think
all right, you guys can vote. It doesn't matter what we actually say. We just try to make it fun. So you can vote on YouTube. Check out the community tab there. You can vote on Twitter.
We know you don't listen to us or care what we say. You just want to vote.
And then on the Discord, we have it there as well. So you can vote all 3 places. We'll announce the winner next week. Okay, I think that should do it for this week. What were we? We have a little bit of a. What are we doing next week? Or we kind of talked about it. I already forgot what we're.
Are we doing the 32?
Oh yeah.
32 deck challenge. We're gonna talk about that a little bit.
We're not doing it. We're just talking about like the pros and cons and all that fun stuff. So it should be fun. It's going to be a fun episode. So that'll be next week. Again, go vote for all these Staple Versus stuff. And we will catch you guys next week. No. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, you know what? I think I messed up because I didn't say we'll catch you next week. Right.
Yeah, see, you didn't say.
All right, that should do it. No. It goes like this. All right, that should do it for this week.
Thanks for listening.
No, we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening. God damn it, we've been drinking. All right, that should do it. See ya. Bye. Sega.
Perhaps.
Oh, not that one. No, not that one. Shit, where am I?
There you go, AJ.
I love boobs. I'm talking
that was a disaster ending.
What's going on?
Some bunkers for honkers.
Why? Is this why everybody likes this stuff?
For the memories.
Because you can get a weird drunk?
Boobs.
Oh my God. That was ridiculous.
That was good.
Oh,
That was good stuff.
Right.